like mentioned it.
Okay. Fair enough, fair enough. Okay, I do have a question, Derek, on the appeals part of today's agenda. That's a separate group we would adjourn as a planning commission, or do appeals are they part of the planning commission thing as opposed to board of adjustment?
Chair commission, they're kind of like we do for board of adjustment. You'll adjourn as planning commission, re-adjourn as the board of appeals, and then go from there.
Very good, very good. Okay, the first disclosures, ex parte communications, potential conflicts of interest. Anybody? I mean, I might have one for one of the appeals. So I know Nadia Burton, she's a friend of mine. Whether that's enough, I mean, the board, that appeal is kind of a cut and dried sort of thing. That, you know, I wouldn't think that I would have a conflict of interest, but what do you guys think?
It's a small town. It's hard not to know somebody.
I agree. Okay, I'll it's just so recognized, and I'll proceed as a participant. Okay. First order of business, final plat -24-01 Bittersweet Industrial Subdivision final plat. Philip.
Yes.
Tell us everything you know.
Yes, indeed. Mr. Chair, members of the commission. Not too long ago, we had the preliminary plat for this project in front of you. This is the one lot subdivision just north of the UW transit facility on 15th Street. So 15th and Bill Nye. We did have discussion about that night, just to remind you about the condominialization process that will occur once this platting is done, but that doesn't have anything to do with the actual platting. So made it clear at that meeting. I just want to make it clear again that the actual use of the property really isn't part of the scope of this project. It's just platting the lot. It's already zoned and everything like that. And essentially the final plat, really, I mean, nothing has changed from the preliminary plat. The conditions that this commission and then council approved with the preliminary plat have all been completed, except for the financial security, which we're still waiting on, but they have until the council meeting to do that. But I can go through this if you like again, but it's so recent to the last one that I'll leave it up to you, Mr. Chair, if you'd like me to go into this, if people need a refresher.
Tom?
Chair, there were some minor changes from the final that didn't appear to be of any substance, you know, some landscaping changes or something. Was there anything else like that?
The only change really was, I mean, there's also site plan out on this, which we're working on as well, but that's separate from the platting. So the platting is essentially
so the only changes would be like in the site plan. There wouldn't be anything in the plat.
Not in the plat. No.
Okay, then that's all I have.
I'm comfortable for us to just entertain questions with you.
Yes, glad to take questions.
Okay. Any other questions from commissioners?
I didn't think we approved that on January 16th, 2024. That's page 2. So is there because the meeting wasn't even held on January 16th, right?
All right, that's a typo on the date.
Well, that's when city council approved.
City council approved.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Okay. I've got a question. You said that on page 3, it says the site will only be used as a storage facility in accordance with the approved site plan. But there's reference to there being retail businesses at the east end on page 2. It says occupancy will be open bay mercantile storage units with retail businesses at the east end of the buildings. How do you reconcile the retail and just saying that it's a storage facility?
Where is the second? Yeah, I know where the first, so in response to the first part, the site plan has been approved for storage. So but that is outside of the scope of the plating. Again, I mean, that's to do with the site plan, but the second reference, you said it was on page 4.
Page 2.
Page 2 on the first paragraph, second sentence.
Second sentence.
Occupancy will be open bay mercantile storage units.
Yeah, again, I mean, this is, Mr. Chair, yeah, there may be some discrepancy here, but this is what was included with the final plat to just give us an idea. I mean, it's really neither here nor there as far as the use that's going on this property. Is we're just platting it.
Gotcha.
So it's as far as anything to do with the site plan, I would need to defer to Derek, who is working with Bittersweet on that.
Yeah, Derek.
The chair commission, so like the simplest answer is about 90% of that building is storage unit. There is a retail component that was approved. That eastern end are 2 retail spaces on the end. They wanted to maximize, it just didn't make sense to have storage space at the very end when it fronts on 15th Street like it did. And so they have 2 just standard old retail spaces, and then the rest of the building pretty much is storage. And that's recognized. We're comfortable with that. It's been approved properly. Like, we're good with all of that. It's just, it's hard and confusing for a lot of people when we just say, because it doesn't look retail. And so, but there is 2 spaces at the front. If you really pay attention, you'll see some kind of glass areas at the very beginning or at the very front on that east end. And then the rest is just bays. So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, good enough. Any other questions from commissioners to Philip?
Public,
Oh, yes, I'll get to it, Tom. Is there anyone in the public that wants to comment on this final plat? Seeing none. Final discussion between us commissioners.
I'll make a motion.
A motion, please.
Mr. Chair, I move to recommend that the city council approve the Bittersweet Industrial Subdivision final plat based on findings of fact and conclusions of law and subject to staff's recommended conditions.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Donald. Final discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Madmore,
Aye.
Heiser White, absent. O'Toole,
Aye.
Priscillic,
Aye.
Schneider, absent. And Moody.
Aye.
That is 4 yeses, 0 no, and 2 absent.
Okay, very good. Next item on the agenda is the acceptance of the resignation of Chris Dixon from the Laramie Planning Commission. Derek, anything you want to say? Way to go, guy.
I didn't have anything to do with it. No, thank you. I mean, I think it's just recognizing that he has served and that he has asked for resignation due to his job, it sounds like. And so that is unfortunate if that's the case, that we can't have people, I guess, at the university serving on this commission, if that's really the facts. So I think that's difficult to hear, because I think they serve they provide another position and another viewpoint for an important institution in our community. So, but with that, I think just accepting his resignation, and Ryan's already out searching for our next member. So.
All right, yeah, it is a drag that no bridges, less bridges with the university, but.
And I think too, thanking Chris for his service and his time on our planning commission, as well as some other boards and commissions that he's served on in the past. So.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Chris
Sure.
very much for being here. I think he was on for a couple years at least. And I think we all appreciate his service. So we'll miss him. And on to a new position, filling it. Okay. So do we have to vote or just all those in favor of accepting Chris Dixon's resignation, say aye?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Seeing none? Good luck, Chris, wherever you are. So that concludes the business of the planning commission. So I'd like to move to adjourn as the planning commission and reconvene as the Board of Appeal.
So moved.
All those in favor of adjournment and reconvening as Board of Adjustment, say aye.
Aye.
Say aye.
So Chair Moody is the motion maker and Tom's the second.
Yes.
Yes.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, say nay. Okay, we are now wearing the hats of the Board of Appeal. The first order of business is, okay, so swearing in of witnesses. Yeah, Derek.
Chair Commission, we don't do appeals often, but just as a reminder, so as the chair was about to state, anyone who wishes to speak during either this first appeal or the second appeal, so we have two appeals on this evening, do need to be sworn in. That would include owners or applicants or representatives or whoever else feels that they want to testify. That doesn't include staff. Staff won't doesn't need to be sworn in. And then secondly, for today, we have two appeals regarding snow removal. These are for the cost of the abatements. Just as a reminder, you're an appeals board, not a waiver board or a variance board. That's not within your purview as an appeals board. So you are either determining that we charge the right amount or that we did not. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'll let you swear in witnesses and then Ray Sandoval with the code enforcement team will be up here to present on the two cases as they come up. So, all right.
Thank you, Derek. Okay, is anybody out there that plans on providing testimony on these appeals? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I see a nod out there. Okay. I don't see anybody online. So, okay, very good. First appeal is A-24-02, appeal of LMC 8.32.230 related to the cost of abatement for 1519 Custer Street.
Mr. Chair, members of the Appeals Board.
I forgot your name.
My name is Ramon Sandoval.
Ramon. Okay.
Yeah. I'm the new code enforcement inspector for the city of Laramie. I'm here today to present the staff's position on the abatement conducted at 1519 Custer Street on February 6th, 2024. Property owner Nadia Burton with Ski Aspen Leaf 3026 LLC is appealing the cost of the.
Excuse me, Ramon, what was that? 01 or 02?
You need to do roll one first.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I thought I was gonna jump right to her. Sorry.
We'll get to it.
Okay. All right, so 571 North 8th Street, I guess is where we're at on this one. I'm here today to present the staff's position on the abatement conducted at 571 North 8th Street on January 17th, 2024. The property owners, Edward and Claudia Lau, could not attend the meeting today. They're supposed to be represented by Mr. Kyle Nedwick, the tenant at 571 North 8th Street. Today, I am asking you to uphold the cost of the nuisance abatement conducted at 571 North 8th Street. Code enforcement followed the requirements by Laramie Municipal Code 832-230 and charge the property owner the correct amount of $200 as required by Laramie Municipal Code 128020. In the appeals process related to the cost of the abatement, Laramie Municipal Code requires the property owner be given 30 days to pay their bill. It also provides the property owner a chance for appeal to appeal the cost the city charged for the administration fee, with the deadline for appeals being 10 business days from the date of the billing letter. These two requirements are provided to the property owner in a billing letter. You can reference those in appeals packet attachment number 8. We are here today to review if code enforcement properly assessed the cost of the abatement in accordance with Laramie Municipal Code. We have provided you with appeals packet attachment number 5, showing Laramie Laundry Incorporated charged the city of Laramie $100 for the snow abatement conducted on 571 North 8th Street. We have also provided you appeals packet attachment number 6, showing the letter to accounts receivable asking them to charge Edward and Claudia Lau $100 for the contractor's fee and administrative fee of $100, bring the total to $200. This charge is to the property owners, Edward and Claudia Lau, for the snow abatement conducted at 571 North 8th Street on January 17th. Based on the appeals request and procedural requirements of Laramie Municipal Code 832-230, the Board of Appeals can only consider if the cost expended on the abatement is correct. Sorry. It is the staff's position in the evidence that we provided the Board of Appeals in the staff report that it is correct. The correct amount was charged to Edward and Claudia Lau for the snow and ice removal at 571 North 8th Street per Municipal Code 128020 on January 19th, 2024. Would you guys like to hear how the process went?
Yeah, we haven't had a kind of a snow removal thing.
First one, I think.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go ahead and go through it. It's so following a complaint in the early January about snow removal practices around the University of Wyoming, code enforcement conducted inspections from Harney Street to Ivinson Avenue between 5th and 9th Street. That whole area we went through and did inspections on. During the inspections, residents were given a snow removal pamphlet with sections of code printed on it, and a verbal clarification was also provided to residents who were home at the time. In appeals packet number 1, you can reference sections of code regarding the case. See, I had 2 conversations with Mr. Ledwick about the standards stated in the municipal code concerning the snow and ice removal prior to posting the property on January 16th. Following the municipal code 128020, after a significant early snowstorm on January 15th, code enforcement posted 13 properties after 10 a.m. on January 16th. 571 North 8th Street was posted at 11:42 a.m. on January 16th in accordance with municipal code. This action fulfills the 10 a.m. to 10 a.m. timeframe as required. This is also shown in appeals packet attachment number 3. In accordance with municipal code, a second inspection of 571 North 8th Street at 10 a.m. on January 17th was conducted. After the failed inspection, I followed municipal code 832-260 and contacted Laramie Laundry Incorporated to conduct an emergency abatement. This action also fulfills a time requirement set forth in municipal code. In appeals packet number 4, you'll see photos of the abatement in progress and what 571 North 8th Street looked like when the abatement was completed at 11 a.m. Out of the 13 properties posted that day, 2 of them were abated on the 17th. In appeals packet number 5, you'll see a bill on January 19th from Laramie Laundry Incorporated for the amount of $100 for snow removal at 571 North 8th Street. In appeals packet attachment number 6, a letter to accounts receivable with the city of Laramie asking them to bill Edward and Claudia Lau the amount of $200. That is $100 charged by the contractors and a $100 administrative fee to the city. The appellant has not provided the city of Laramie any evidence or any reason why they're appealing the cost of the abatement. In appeals packet number 9, a letter from Edward Lau states that they are appealing the cost. Do you guys have any questions on this
No
property?
questions, no.
Any questions, Sylvia or Donald?
Mr. Sandoval, I have a question to the chair.
Yeah, Donald.
Do you respond to complaints or you drive around?
What I usually do is I will get a complaint in an area and then I will canvass the area from that complaint. This situation here, I had complaints, several complaints about the situation with the snow removal practices in that area, so I did focus on that area a little bit more. So in some cases, I'll get a call and they'll say, I was out walking and so these addresses did not remove snow. And then I'll go out and check those addresses, and in that process, I'll also canvass the area to see if there's any others.
Thank you.
And did you say you spoke to the tenant?
Yeah, I spoke to Mr. Ledwick twice. The last time I spoke to him was on January 11th. We had a face-to-face. I explained to him the practices and what he needed to do, and he was understanding. And I believe in the letter, he said that he was waiting till January 18th to remove his snow because it was going to snow again. But
I've been guilty of that too.
have you?
But no more.
So,
Okay,
did that answer your?
Yes, it does. Yeah, conscience is the little voice that says you might get caught. So I share your concern. I will be a lot more speedy in future.
any other questions from commission for?
Not for me.
And as you said, Edward and Claudia are not here, so there's no applicant to talk to.
No, the guy who was supposed to speak in their behalf has not showed up.
Okay. Final discussions between us?
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Just for the record, when this administrative fee first came up at city council, I spoke against it because to me, it seemed like something that was rife for abuse. But in the is it 2 years? It's either 2 or 3 years since the $100 was placed into effect. There's been no abuse of it. It's rarely used. The threat of the $100 seems to work most of the time. And since we do have a representative form of government, it passed and I don't see any problem with it. I mean, that's, even though I was opposed to it, vehemently opposed to it at first, but it seems to not be abused. So there's the first two I've heard that have come to an appeal.
I suppose people have been paying it if they have been ticketed, so to speak.
Yeah, last year, I imagine most people paid. I mean, few had to go to collections. But I mean, so far this year, I haven't had anybody pay it, but we're still early in the process, in the billing process. I mean, they still have, 30 days to get their bill paid, so they got time.
Okay. No, and it's good to have this discussion just to see sort of how the whole thing is sort of falling out, so.
And after the 30 days, what we'll do is we'll send them another billing letter, tell them that they still owe this money. So they get an extra 30 days on top of, and there's no fines or penalties for being late with your bill. But after the third time, we will send them to collections.
This particular property was a corner lot.
Yeah,
And so I would assume that probably $100 for a bill from, the contractors that you use would probably be a max, because that would be kind of the maximum degree of effort for.
what they usually do is they'll send out 2 to 3 guys out there. So it goes fairly quick. As far as the snow removal goes, a little bit of ice removal, they'll put down some salt or stuff like that. But usually it's 3 guys that are doing the properties. So it could take anywhere from 5 minutes to 15 to 20. So, but with their job, they have to do it fairly quickly.
Anyways, it's just sort of like maybe it's putting some sideboards on what kind of costs you'd expect to see.
Yeah, to me, Mr. Chair, the $100 cost for the removal seemed a little high, but you're calling somebody up on an emergency basis who's probably got crews out pretty busy already. It's difficult, so I could see where they would charge 100.
All right.
Like tough guys, well, the next one we'll talk about.
And just to emphasize, this discussion we're having is not part of really what we're deciding on at
Yeah.
all. We're just deciding that the number adds up and is invoice plus.
Seems like a
rate of
proper
fee.
number considering the circumstances.
Donald?
Well, and this goes to the planning folks. Do you have any idea how many accidents there are per year from people slipping on snow and ice?
I have put a call in to the post office down here and I have not heard back from them yet. But I wanted to get some information on them, how many people have lost time accidents and how many people have been injured trying to walk up to a property that is not maintained. And when I get those answers, I'll probably be back in front of you.
I know
Yeah.
on campus, there are regular people taking a tumble and they all get cause fractures, the extension fractures on their wrist. My guess is it's common in town if it happens so commonly on campus. And that's the main thing, is to try to prevent it, because I've fallen several times both forwards and backwards.
Yeah.
And it's scary.
Some of the most dangerous ones are the ones that start to melt out and it freezes overnight and then you get a light snow and you're unaware of where you're walking and you just hit that slick underneath that fresh snow and they go down. So,
One of those cost me a rotator cuff.
yeah.
All right, no other comments from commission, I take it. And is there anybody in public that wants to comment on this particular appeal? Seeing none, is there a motion?
I don't know how we should
Well,
word this, how we,
it's there, move.
yeah, I don't have it,
The recommended motion.
I don't have that. You care, take it away, Donald.
Let me open this up.
There it is. You had it.
I could do it if you want.
I don't know.
Just give me a second. Is it in the usual place? Is it-
Recommended motion.
Oh,
And I just wanted to do, I think I gave the wrong appeal at the very beginning.
There it is.
okay.
Title, I think I did call it 1519, but this is,
Okay, I move to uphold the cost of nuisance abatement for the property located on 571 North 8th Street, and noting the city followed all appeals process requirements of LMC 8.32.230, and that the correct amount of $200 was charged for the work completed related to the abatement.
is there a second?
Second.
Second from Tom. Final discussion amongst commissioners? Seeing none, roll call vote, please. Ryan?
Matamore,
Aye.
Heisler White is absent. O'Toole,
Aye.
Priscillic,
Aye.
Schneider is absent, and Moody.
Aye.
That is 4 yeses, 0 no, and 2 absent.
Okay, motion to uphold passes. Okay, the second on the appeals docket is A-24-02, appeal of LMC 8.32.230 related to the cost of abatement for 1519 Custer Street. Ramon, one more time.
Okay, so I'm here to present the staff's position on the abatement conducted at 1519 Custer Street on February 6th, 2024. The property owner, Nadia Burton, with Ski Aspen Leaf 3026 LLC, is appealing the cost of the abatement conducted on her property at 1519 Custer Street on February 6th, 2024. I'm asking you to uphold the cost of the nuisance abatement conducted at 1519 Custer Street, Custer Street. Code enforcement follow the requirements of Laramie Municipal Code and charge the property owner the correct amount of $165 as required by Laramie Municipal Code. In the appeals process, the cost of the abatement, Laramie Municipal Code requires property owner be given 30 days to pay the bill. It also allows the property owner a chance to appeal the cost the city charged for the administration fee, with the deadline of appeal being 10 business days from the date of the billing letter. These two requirements are provided to the property owner in a billing letter. You could reference these letters or this letter in the appeal packet attachment number 8. We're here today to review if code enforcement properly assessed the cost of the abatement in accordance with Laramie Municipal Code 128020. We have provided you with appeals packet attachment number 5 showing Tough Guys Landscaping and Lighting charged the city of Laramie $65 for snow abatement conducted at 1519 Custer Street on February 6, 2024. We have also provided you the appeal packet attachment number 6 showing a letter to accounts receivable asking them to charge a Ski Aspen Leaf 3026 LLC $65 for the contractor's fee and an administrative fee of $100, bringing the total to $165. This charge is to the property owner of the snow abatement conducted at 1519 Custer Street. Based on the appeals request and procedural requirements of Laramie Municipal Code 832-230, the Board of Appeals can only consider if the cost expended on the abatement is correct. It is the staff's position that the evidence provided to the Board of Appeals in the staff report is correct. The correct amount was charged to Nadia Burton for the snow and ice removal at 1519 Custer Street per Municipal Code 128020 on February 7th, 2024. So I'm going to take you through the process of this one. Following a complaint about the snow removal practices at 1519 Custer Street and 1201 Custer Street on February 5th, 2024, code enforcement went to the properties to conduct an inspection. You may reference the relevant sections of code and appeals packet number 1, attachment 1. Following Municipal Code 128020, after a significant snowstorm on February 4th, code enforcement inspected the property 1519 Custer Street at 11:21 a.m. on February 5th. This action fulfills the 10 a.m. to 10 a.m. timeframe required in Municipal Code. This is shown in appeals packet attachment number 3. Code enforcement posted 10 properties on February 5th, 2024. A second inspection of 1519 Custer Street after 10 a.m. on February 6th resulted in a failed inspection. I contacted Tough Guys Landscaping and Lighting to conduct an emergency abatement as required by Municipal Code 832-260. This action also fulfilled the time requirement set forth in the Municipal Code. In appeals attachment number 4, you can see the photos of the property prior to the abatement and what 1519 Custer Street looked like when the abatement was completed at 12:15 p.m. Out of the 10 properties we posted that day, 4 were abated. In appeals packet attachment number 5, you'll see a bill on February 7th, 2024 from Tough Guys Landscaping and Lighting for the amount of $65 for the snow removal at 1519 Custer Street. In appeals packet number 6, a letter to accounts receivable with the city of Laramie asking them to bill Ski Aspen Lee 3026 LLC the amount of $165. This is $65 charged by the contractor and $100 administrative fee. The appellant has not provided the city of Laramie any evidence or any reason why they are appealing the cost of the abatement. We included in the appeals packet attachment 9, a letter from Nadia Burton appealing the cost, and in attachment 10, a signed request for appeal of nuisance abatement fees, document signed by Nadia Burton. Any questions?
Well, I think later, maybe. Maybe we can go to the appealer to come up and make a comment. The appellate. The appellate. State your name and.
Hello, my name is Nadia Burton, and I have lived in Laramie for 15 years, owned a home for 9, and this is the first time I've had any situation with this, but I think this is great. I think that you should shovel your front yard. Absolutely. I was out of town at the time and was not able to get back within that 12-hour period to figure out that I needed to shovel my walkway. I guess I think the cost is a bit high. I realize that we need to take care of it. I have since hired somebody to take care of that when I'm out of town to make sure that the sidewalk is cleared. And I would just like to appeal the amount charged to me, both more so on the administrative side, I would suppose, rather than I realize that when you, like you said before, when you call somebody and need to do an emergency abatement within a day, that it's going to cost more than it would if you just had somebody coming regularly. So I appreciate your time considering.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Okay, so any questions to Ramon or based on Nadia's comments from commissioners?
I believe the way it's written, there's not a lot we can do. We can't waive a fee. We can, approve the appeal, or but we can't waive like the administrative fee and keep the $65 for the removal. I think we can't split that up. So, as much sympathy as I have, for the appellant, I don't see any way we can do anything else but reject the appeal.
Any other questions from commission? Yours?
I'm just puzzled. How long has the regulation been in place?
Regulation's been in place for a long time, which the administrative fee that was imposed at city council about 2.5 to 3 years ago. Maybe it was like 2020 or 2021 when $100 was imposed for the administrative fee.
I'm just puzzled. I thought folks were pretty well aware of the existence of a necessity to clear your sidewalk within 24 hours.
Derek?
Chair, Commission, the regulation has been in place about 12 years now. And then prior to, it was like around 2001 or 2021 when the administrative fee changed. Prior to that, it was essentially a 50% of the bill administrative fee. But it was, changed in 2021 to this flat 100 or half the bill if it's more, because if it's a really large site, for instance, it could be more than the $100.
Right.
And so that's what it was changed to.
Okay, thank you. I have a question. I just want to make sure that their work wasn't, it was just this one property at 1519 as opposed to a neighboring property.
Yeah, the other property on Custer Street that we did was on 1201 Custer Street, which is 2 blocks to the west that we did. That was a pretty big property and a bigger bill. I did talk to the contractor about the $65 charge because it took 3 guys 4 minutes to
Right.
get it abated.
It's kind of a cringe factor. If
And
you look at the photos.
And the reason why that is done that way, I got a phone call specifically about these 2 properties. And with that resident, when a resident calls in, we got to take action. If that would have been an inspection, I probably would have maybe said, no, we're going to hold off on this one. And I'm going to send them a letter and see if we can get some action that way. But with the complaint being in there, that really drove the reason why it was done.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at the before and after photos and, it seemed like there was snow on the other side of the driveway. And then on the after, they whether that was still the Burton property, because the whole thing was cleared out. And so maybe they had shoveled part of the neighbor's property, but
Well, it was,
The problem being that there was a clear path on the sidewalk, I think.
Right.
Is what's apparent, that there was continuous snow across the sidewalk for a section of that property.
Yeah, and we're not really looking at the property itself. What we're looking at is the
I know.
cost.
Yeah.
And like I said,
I get you.
it's definitely one of those situations when you're doing these, that's why I have really tried hard to get out and hand out pamphlets and knock on doors, trying to get people aware, make sure they're aware of it.
Okay.
But unfortunately, nobody answered the door at that place because apparently nobody's living there. I guess. Is nobody living at that property?
We have people that stay there. Yeah, we run it as an Airbnb.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So nobody was there at that time.
no one was there at the time.
Okay.
But I check up on it regularly and was not able to be there. I was out of town, so.
Okay, well, any other questions from commission to Ramon?
Why
See,
do you think it's not lived in?
Nobody responded to the notice in there. And then when I went back there the next day, I knocked on the door and
I mean, people are out of town regularly. That's just an odd question, I guess. That's all.
well, when you came in, it was your property. And you
It
don't,
is my property.
you don't live there.
I don't live there full time. I live there from time to time for
Oh,
sure.
okay, if you want to come up to the stand and talk, but again, it's not germane to what we're really here to
Exactly.
talk about, so. Anyway, if there's no further questions or comments from commission, is there a motion?
I move to uphold the cost of a nuisance abatement for the property located on 1519 Custer Street, noting the city followed all appeals process requirements of LMC 8.32.230, and that the correct amount of $165 was charged for the work completed related to the abatement.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Tom. Any further questions? Comments from commissioners? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Matamore,
Aye.
Heisler White is absent. O'Toole,
Aye.
Priscillic,
Aye.
Schneider, absent. And Moody.
Aye.
That is 4 yeses, 0 no, and 2 absent.
Okay, move to uphold passes. That's all the business we have. Is there a motion to
So moved.
adjourn our Board of Appeals?
Second.
Second from Donald. All those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. All those opposed, say nay. Okay, we're done for the evening. My goodness. That's a
Early.
record. That's
That's the quickest we've.
48 minutes.